Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Planet 5D, and I have been illuminated. What does a Paul Reed Smith Custom 22 electric guitar have in common with a Sekonic C-700 spectrometer, the Spectromaster? Oh baby. They are both so far above, nosebleed high above most people's capabilities, that to spend even an hour with either instrument is to elevate your game and educate you through osmosis. You can argue that what we're doing is a 5 LED panel comparison, and you'd be right. On the one hand, we have the newer CN160, the first LED panel I ever bought for 30 bucks, all the way up, and still at the low end of the lighting industry, but Aputure's brand new Lightstorm LS 1/2W at $495 without battery. And then we have another Aputure and a couple of cames in between. But what makes this so interesting is this C-700, this spectrometer. Yeah, we could have done it without the C-700, but it wouldn't have been nearly as informative. The C-700 is not an inexpensive light meter, but then again, it's not a light meter at all. And that really becomes clear as soon as you fire it up, go past dark calibration, which is simply to say it calibrates itself, yay, and you're faced with this main menu. I started with text. That's where you can see the largest number of parameters on one screen, and it was the beginning of my education. Spectrum adds a graphical representation of the different characteristics of light emanating from your device. Spectrum comparison, next over, allows you to look at the graphs and compare two different lights at the same time. CRI, color rendition index, 15 different versions of CRI. Camera filter and lighting filter? Well, this tells you what you need to do in order to get back to zero, untinted. Multi-lights gives you screen real estate for comparing up to 4 lights at one time, although the number of elements is correspondingly reduced. White balance correction, you know what that is, and settings, you can imagine what that is as well. For this test, I measured each light from a distance of 1 meter, as little ambient light as possible. Were there any surprises? Well, actually a couple. No newsflash that the little newer was by far the least powerful and the least accurate. On the other hand, I was gobsmacked at the color rendition index of the Aputure Lightstorm and the fact that it had no color tint that had to be corrected. And I was a little bit surprised that my old reference, the Came TV bicolor, 1024 bicolor, actually was not as accurate as I thought it was. Between the other two, the Amaron and the Ultra Slim, they were pretty close, although the Amaron actually had a higher light output. As always, at the end of the day, it comes down to priorities and personal preferences. If you're looking for ultimate build quality and light quality at this end of the market, from what I can see thus far, the new Aputure Lightstorm series is it. They're really robust. I love the way they've separated the head from the battery mount and control pack. I love that it comes with wireless built in. I love the quality of light. When everything is said and done, I love the quality of light. On the other hand, if what you're looking for is maximum light output and you're very pragmatic, you're worrying less about theoretical optimums and just want bang for the buck, well, the original Came TV 1024 bicolor is fantastic. Dimmable, color correctable just by a turn of a knob, that is color temperature correctable just by a turn of a knob, and it does the business with twice the light output of the Lightstorm LS 1/2W at just about the exact same price. Something like the newer CN160, well, there's typically a place for that if you just want to have a light. It just works. It's not robust, but again, it just works. It had the least accurate light output of the bunch and was far, far weaker than ultra powerful in the headline on Amazon. But I like it, and there's still a place for it in my kit. The Aputure Amaron HR672C, another great product. Not as robust and a little bit older than its cousin, the Lightstorm, but for just about half the price of the Lightstorm LS1/2W, you get a bicolor dimmable LED with almost the same light output. As far as the Came Ultra Slim is concerned, I have to say that at the end of the day, it wasn't powerful enough and the controls were not intuitive to me. Two different wheels, one for daylight LEDs, one for tungsten LEDs, and you kind of flip them around until you get the color temperature you want. I much prefer the manual of arms, if you will, on Came's older unit, the 1024 bicolor, and on Aputure. You have one dial for color temperature and one dial for intensity. That's my preference. You can't really go wrong with any of these as long as you know what you're getting them for. But I have to say, that Lightstorm, I really like it. Anyway, for Planet 5D, I'm Hugh Brownstone. See you next time.